outside the Hoagland Center for the Arts in Springfield. That's where the four candidates for the Republican nomination for governor met tonight in a debate.
The Springfield debate came at a time when all four candidates were facing a barrage of negative advertising from outside groups. Candidate Bruce Rauner from a union-backed group trying to connect him to corruption, and the other three from a group portraying them as career politicians who caused the current problems in Illinois. But Senators Kirk Dillard and Bill Brady showed that it's not just the outside groups providing the attacks.
Bernie, in answer to your question about Mr. Brady's position on social issues, the demise of his campaign began with a idea that he had to mass euthanize animals. That began the drumbeat that made him a vulnerable candidate, and it was also followed up with stories, and there was another one on the front page of the Chicago Tribune last week where Bill votes on legislation before the General Assembly that impacts his family's real estate business. I'll give Mr. Rauner a pass tonight on pay to play. I won't gig him about Stuart Levine being paid $1 million, the mastermind of the Blagojevich corruption ring, and he getting $50 million back from a board that Mr. Levine sat on. You touched on him clouding his kid into the Walter Payton High School in Chicago, and I won't even mention how he gave $300,000 to the Democrat governor of Pennsylvania and then had business increase from public pension funds in Pennsylvania to his firm.
Senator Dillard's ad for Obama, saying he'd serve our country well as President of the United States, is a non-starter amongst Republicans and, frankly, independents. And with all due respect to Mr. Rauner, his support of Rahm Emanuel doesn't serve well with Republicans in a primary, and it doesn't work to win elections.
Dan Rutherford entered the debate with a cloud over his campaign that he sought to dispel.
Without adequate knowledge about you.
I would very much,
And there you go.
I would very much like for them to see it. In fact, when I made the announcement that we're going to release it, that was totally the intent. What happened before the date of the release and the time was the fact that there was a federal lawsuit filed. Right now, advice of counsel is because there's a federal lawsuit going on. I'm working it through. I want to get that out there, believe me.
You also have said that Mr. Rauner is behind this. Do you have any proof at this point?
I do not have direct proof to that.
Thank you.
Rauner, a wealthy Chicago businessman, faced tough questioning about his changing stories on whether he used his influence with then Chicago Public Schools CEO Arne Duncan to gain admission for his daughter into the prestigious Walter Payton College Prep High School.
Misunderstood your question. Arne Duncan and I would talk regularly because I'm very involved and have been for 25 years in school reform in Chicago. Very involved in charter schools, voucher school choice, so I talk to Arne regularly. I don't really recall much of the conversation that my wife and I had around the time of our daughter's application to Walter Payton College Prep. The important issue is we did not ask for any special favors, special treatment, special deal for our daughter.
This was a debate that had no clear winners or losers, but it gave an ample preview of the kind of questions the Republican nominee, whoever he is, can expect when facing Governor Pat Quinn in the general election.
And that's it for this week's edition of Spin Cycle. Thanks, and be sure to tune in next week.